was a belief in myself. And I really suffered from that before I came here. I was filled with self-doubts and apprehensions, but I may have gone a little too far the other way, and I was so lifted by my own ego that I refused to come to graduation because we had a curated senior show, and here I thought the students and wonderful Professor Christenberry were all going to do this as another big collaboration. No, we had a guest curator. The guest curator didn't really like my work. So I had one piece in the show. It was a piece that I didn't even like that well. I thought I should have even had it up for the juror to see. So I refused to come to graduation. Bill does remember this. I was pompous. I was what were the words I used earlier, Bill? I had them down. I really am verklempt. I was just filled with blind arrogance about the entire process. But there was another aspect to this too, because as I sat at home, knowing the graduation ceremony was going on, and there were only 16 of us at that time, the phone kept ringing and ringing and ringing during the 15 to 20 minutes leading up to when I knew the ceremony would begin. And this was before cell phones and Blackberries and even answering machines. In fact, they were the good old days. The phone rang and you didn't pick it up, nobody left you a message. But I anticipated why I was being called. And I'll tell you, I was at home and I burst into tears. I thought the reason I'm not there, I finally owned up to what it was all about, was I didn't want to close this chapter. I didn't want to say goodbye to the Corcoran. It was and still is so profoundly important to me that my bratty petulance was really owing to the fact that I was just deeply disturbed by leaving. And it was a lot easier to get angry at the institution than it was to embrace the separation and realize that it's a new chapter, a new threshold. And it wasn't until, I want to say a few years later, maybe not even that long, when I came to terms, going back again to the qualities of character, how one navigates the world, how one problem solves, and all of you are keen, creative problem solvers. I didn't come to terms with that until later, and I realized if I never make another piece of sculpture again, the Corcoran has given me life skills. It's given me this staggering preparation for any challenge that could present itself to me. And I felt that then with impunity. I feel it even stronger today. And I hope you all, well, if you don't believe me, you'll find out for yourselves, because it will happen to you too. And I attribute it to studying in a creative area, studying in an area where the answer isn't at the back of the book, where it really is about you, where it's about your own investigation and research, about your own technical development, your conceptual development, and of course, being in art and design, everything's about a context. It's cultural, it's societal, it's historic, it's political, and it's economic. What greater city to be in for all of that? And so it's at the time and it's at the place, so it's constantly changing, it's constantly evolving, or at least it should be. And when you reflect, as I can, on where I was and where I am today, all of it has to do with the profound Corcoran threshold and what this institution gave to me, and I'm just pleased to be able to give something back to you. And when it comes to my own professional career, I never knew where this would take me, but going back to Bill's words of guidance, his incredible nurturing and his stewardship, it was all about deliver at 1,000% only. And that's what I've done my whole life, was given, no matter what job it was, whether I was filing papers for someone, it was always about doing the best possible job. And also issues of integrity, issues of beliefs, and feeling that you can go to sleep at night, so to speak, that you're not compromising. Well, let me also say, there's plenty of compromising you're going to do, but don't lose track of who you really are and what's at your core, what your soul is. Compromising is very necessary. You have to sometimes recalibrate your priorities and ask yourself, how much is this worth it to me? And it may very well be, if it's a big opportunity, providing you're not doing something that's heinous, that's harmful to people, but a recalibration of your own thinking about, well, what is important to me and how far will I go, can be very, very useful. And it can also open up some doors, and it can then put you in a position where you can reestablish what is acceptable to you and the direction that you want to go in. I could babble at you for hours. I don't want to do that. I just want to assure you that I'm with you spiritually, and that I am a resource for you, and that as fellow alumni, we're in one great big giant club together. And I'm exceedingly proud to say that I'm an alumnus of the Corcoran, as I know you will be in a few minutes from now, when it's all official. And just have the confidence that you can really change the world. And to go back to a cliche that Susan referred to earlier, Susan, the only thing I love more than your hat is your address. Your remarks were beautiful. When I look at you, and I look at the work in the gallery, the future couldn't look brighter to me. And rest assured that being creative problem solvers, the world needs you, because you will establish new paradigms for how the world operates. So, class of 2009, best wishes to you.